Hey, what's up, everybody? Just kind of want to let you know that before you start watching this episode, is I had some kind of issues with the recording of this stuff. Uh, I somehow stopped recording, and then once I noticed, I started recording from that point on. So it may seem kind of out of place when it starts off. Just want to give you that quick heads up before you start off. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining in, and I appreciate you guys. Without further ado, the episode will start right now.
To be better. And then you got Ragnarok that feeds off of that, but kind of gives it more of a reason. It's like, hey, we must be better for the children now.
Uh huh.
That's kind of what it was about. And then this one, the DLC, again feeds off the other two, but it twists it and says, okay, now that we're forcing ourselves to be better, we gotta forgive ourselves and let go of the things that we've done that we're not so proud of.
Right.
And him going through Valhalla allowed him to not only recognize his intentions and um oh, I'm slipping. He At the end of the day, he forgave himself. He forgave himself, realized that he's more of a god of hope than a god of war. He took on the god of war title because he had hope to essentially do good. He
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, you get fucked over so many times, you're gonna rage. You're gonna rage.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the opposite end with you on that because I think they kind of twist the story up of Kratos that was originally put in place. I mean, he was pretty selfish. Uh, I don't think he was ever looking to help anybody out or save anybody else out. His whole entire story was getting revenge against the gods for what they did to him. Uh, So I think that kind of changes things up for Kratos' character. I mean, obviously it's different now compared to where he was in the original games, anyways. Not that it takes away from the story for this game, this set, this series. Uh, I think it just kind of puts it more in focus of what he was. How do you say it? Uh, More perspective for the character now, where it's at, rather than where it was in the beginning. More heart, more character, rather than just big giant dick killing everything possible, which is who he
Yeah,
was.
like I'm not totally justifying everything, but the points that every time he met Tyr and the things that kept popping up, like Helios, or it was a flute, or something from his past, uh, he just had to walk through that. And when he finally confronts himself and he actually is able to talk to his younger self, which, by the way, his younger self in this new engine looks phenomenal.
Oh yeah, looks
It's
phenomenal. Yep.
it's gorgeous. Um, you know, we all have moments like that. I'd like to say every now and then.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I all right. Harry, you're gonna be playing this hopefully soon. Sounds like you're more interested in it now that it's a roguelike mode. Uh, Tell me. When do you think you'll be getting around to it?
It's next on my list after I beat Valhalla. So as soon as I get through that, probably this week.
Yeah, that's a pretty beefy game itself. Assassin's Creed. It's got a lot of
Yeah,
content
there's
there
a
to run
lot
through.
going on in that game.
Are you doing the DLCs or just main campaign too?
I'm not sure yet. I don't have the Ragnarok DLC, so maybe the other ones, but I'm not sure yet.
Yep. Well, just so you know, if you don't know this already, the Valhalla DLC for Ragnarok is free. Uh, I don't know if I'm completely. I think that's the same name for it on for Assassin's Creed Valhalla too, isn't it? Isn't that the DLC Ragnarok?
It
Yeah.
is, yeah. So we've got
Yeah.
God of War
Boy,
Ragnarok Valhalla, and then we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla Ragnarok.
wow!
God of War did it better.
Couldn't have planned that a lot, you know.
They didn't do it first, but damn it, did they do it better?
It's true. Let's see here. So it looks like that is it for Valhalla. Moving on to the next news. I love this because soon I will be stepping in to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. They have added in all of these starters and locations. So if you're watching along rather than listening, you'll see right here on the screen that it's got all the mumbo jumbo that you need to do, that you need to know on NintendoLife.com. It has all your Pokemon starter locations. So, Harry, you're the Pokemon fan in this group. Tell me any specific one that you're going to go out there and find immediately when you start playing this.
All right, now look. I know this is going to be controversial, except for it's not at all controversial. I'm going for Swampert immediately.
Fuck yeah.
Mudkip, Swampert, all right, look. Mudkip and Swampert. Marshtomp is cursed as hell. That thing's scary looking, but Swampert's my favorite starter at Final Evolution ever, probably.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably go for Torterra.
Uh-huh.
And maybe Infernape.
Awesome. That makes sense. Yep, I will definitely be looking to grab the Infernape evolution. I think Chikorita is one of my favorites from the second generation. First gen, probably Squirtle, and then
I'm a Blastoise man myself.
And then Chespin. I love Chespin. I like that little Pokemon. He turned into a big weird thing. I don't know what it's called, but
Chestnut.
It's like he's a giant nut bear thing. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, he's freaking cool though. I'm a big fan of Chestnut. That was my first starter in my current run on Y. I went with Greninja.
Yeah,
and I miss Chestnut. I don't know. I think he was better.
Hell yeah. I'll have to get something together. Maybe we'll have a big discussion on Pokemon sometime. And we'll kind of break it down by game. And maybe do a tier list or something weird like that. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see what your opinion is on all the starters.
Oh, I got opinions on starters.
Awesome.
And I have an undisputed worst starter in my opinion.
Okay. Wow. Well, go ahead and tell me that, because now I got to know.
Yeah, that's going to be a good discussion.
Snivy. I hate that thing. It's ugly as hell.
Oh, my God! I love it.
It's the worst starter. I hate Snivy.
I love Snivy, man. It's grass snake. I mean, it's so cool.
I think it's the opposite of cool, but, to each their own.
Fair enough.
I hated that thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty biased towards all of the grass types anyways. So
I think Black and White was just not a good generation for starters.
Yeah.
Emboar is kind of mid to lame. Oshawott okay. Oshawott's all right.
Yeah.
Oshawott?
Snivy is...
I'm setting the pace again. Our next news story is a pretty nice sale coming on for the Xbox generation here. They've got over 80 backwards compatible games coming to the Xbox sale. I'm going to list off the ones that I think are obviously worth picking it up or checking it out. If there is one that I bring up specifically that you guys want to bring up and talk about, just shout it out. Just tell me to shut up. Stop talking. Let's see here. Right off the bat, Brutal Legend. You've got to play that game no matter what anyways.
Big ass game.
Yep. It's
Jack Black is an absolute champion amongst men, and he delivers so hard on the main voice acting in that game.
Hell yeah, he does.
Yep.
And the music is phenomenal.
Yeah, that whole game is just badass.
Yep. We got Ozzy Osbourne down there. You can buy upgrades from him for your... Oh, what is it? That little roadster car that he builds out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, as always, you've got your Call of Duty games that are on sale, even though they all suck. Besides Black Ops 2, that's my favorite.
Controversial take. I think Call of Duty Ghosts is my favorite Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Ghosts was just it came way too early.
That's fair.
If
It was
Ghost
ahead of its time.
if Ghost came out today, I think people would be more receptive of it.
I think so too. Let's be honest, that's what really sold the new MW2, is that they plastered Ghost everywhere.
Yeah. I just remember the alien mode that they had too as well.
Yeah.
That was
We had to
really
plant
different.
the nukes.
Yep.
Escalation, I think, is what it was called.
Oh, good memory. Yeah. If they brought something back that was kind of different from in that direction, I think I'd be more open to it.
Well, behind the scenes, like making of the remake of MW1 and MW2, they've been teasing. There's a bunch of like Call of Duty Ghost hints in the game. So it wouldn't surprise me if Infinity Ward's, since they chose not to do MW3, it wouldn't surprise me that they're doing Call of Duty Ghost instead.
Yeah, I think I don't trust Call of Duty to do anything anymore. So
I'm not saying I trust them. I'm just pointing out that I'm seeing things and I'm predicting.
yeah. Well, stop predicting shit. Don't put that on us.
Don't put it on us.
So up next
You
you
put
got
that evil on me, Mr. Bobby.
Hell yeah. Fantastic scene. Dead Space 2 and 3. If you guys played the remake and you guys like it, here's your chance to play 2 and 3. Not
Dead
remastered
Space
or
2 is
remade.
my favorite Dead Space.
I like them all besides the one on Wii. So
Dead Space 2 had that freaking nursery mission that's just an absolute nightmare.
yeah. I don't remember that. Fuck.
It has the little mutated babies in it that like jump at you.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That whole mission is an absolute nightmare. I hated it, but I also loved it.
Fuck yeah. Well, there you go. If you like killing nightmare babies or mutated babies, Dead Space 2 is a game for you. It's got 85% fucking sell. Dragon Age, fantastic RPGs right there, along with Fable 1, 2, and 3. You can pass on 3. I'll take Fable 1 and 2. That is the anniversary edition, by the way. You have DuckTales Remastered, Fallout New Vegas, Jade Empire. You got tons of Lego games. If you've got kids, these Lego games are perfect for them. Or if you're a grown adult like myself and Dadalorian and Wookie and Harry, I'm sure Harry plays Lego games too, but they're all fucking awesome.
We're all Lego fans.
Yep. And something that popped up earlier that seemed like everybody had a pretty good opinion on is the Lost Planet series. I've played all 3. I don't remember much of 3 or 2, but I know 2 was more like a warmer climate. I remember that, but
I think 2 took place in like a rainforest or something. It
yeah,
was like jungly.
pick that shit up. That's good stuff.
Republic Commando's on there.
It is. You've got all 3 Mass Effects. Wonderful games to play. I think 1 is kind of the weakest for me. It's too slow.
Mass Effect 2 is the best one for sure.
Fuck yeah.
No, number 2? Yeah, 2 is phenomenal.
2 is one of the best. That game is just incredible.
Yeah.
The ending for 3 was what ruined that entire game.
Yeah, I actually,
At least for me.
I feel like a lot of people slept on the multiplayer mode in Mass Effect 3. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I didn't even know that
Horde mode
existed.
thing.
I don't think I've completed any of those games or beat them all the way through. So I've got the
They're a
remastered
lot.
collection. So
Yeah, you can. What's cool about it is that you can carry your character over to the next game
okay.
and all the decisions it came with. So
It's kind of better to start with the first one and finish it then.
it's just slow as shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
if you
just.
start at 3, it just does like default. Like if you don't have any save files from 1 or 2 and you start up 3, it'll just like your background for how the game starts will just be like the default choices for the first 2 games.
Mhm.
Well, we got some Resident Evil games on that list too. A bunch of Star Wars. My personal picks for the Star Wars games obviously is KOTOR 1, 2, and Republic Commando. But they do have
Yeah.
both
They got
Battlefront
Force
games.
Unleashed 2.
They have Force Unleashed 1 and 2 on there.
Yep.
Good ass game.
Yeah. So that's all 50 to 80% off. You guys need to check that out. Some really good sales there. If you're an Xbox fan and you have that platform, don't miss out on these sales. They have a lot of backwards compatible games that have
I do think
a lot of
I do
content
think
to play. Go ahead.
I do think that anybody that calls themselves a gamer and has any self-respect has to have at some point played KOTOR.
Yeah.
Fuck
You
yes.
have to play Knights of the Old Republic
Yeah.
1 is like, if you play video games, you have to play that game.
Yep. I think I just fell in love with you. Because
That
that
game
is
is
one of my
It's
favorite
one of
games
the
of all
all-time
time.
greatest games. Yeah, that game is
We're gonna-
insane. It's amazing.
We're gonna have to come up with a list on what games you have to play to be a gamer, to at least call yourself a gamer.
Fair enough.
Oh, dude, we're not gatekeeping gamers here, all right? We're just letting them know.
Yeah. So, you're not a real gamer if you don't play KOTOR.
That's right.
That being said, if you don't play KOTOR, fuck you.
Exactly. It's a phenomenal game. Phenomenal story. Revan is amazing.
It's one of the best stories that Star Wars has put out.
Agreed.
I agree.
Agreed. Well, last bit of news for the Xbox storyline here. It is Redfall. Yeah. I don't know why people play this game, but hey. So obviously
They
in
hate themselves.
Steam,
They hate themselves.
it is now mostly positive.
What?
Really?
I don't know how, but it
Drugs
it
are
is.
involved.
I can't believe it. There has to be.
It's Xbox bots.
I would like to say it is, but you have to have a certain amount of hours played on the Steam account to review a game. In case you didn't know that.
I did not.
So, I bring this story up mostly, not just because that it's because somebody has put in over 100 hours into this game.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Is that person okay? Like, are they okay?
Yeah, I've heard of labors of love, but I've never heard of labors of self-hatred.
Yeah.
It is very, very weird. So for everybody to look at, it's this guy. He posted it on his ex Twitter account, whatever the hell you want to call it. He has over 205 hours played in Redfall.
He needs a therapist and a psychiatrist.
That's quite a bit of hours.
He needs to be in a case study.
He needs Jesus.
I don't understand it. Something like Starfield, I could get.
Yeah.
Because that might be a controversial game, but it at least has it actually has that many hours of content technically.
Yep.
That guy's just like, I fucking love Redfall, man. I don't know.
He's like one of 5 people still playing it. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. Redfall. I mean, is this giving you any kind of hope to hop back in here and play this game, Dallas?
No.
No. Nope.
Nope.
I don't blame you. There is
The game didn't really seem appealing to me in the first place, but I had hope. But I had hopes that it was at least going to do well.
Yeah.
Because Microsoft needs a W, like an earned W.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a bought one, an earned one.
Yeah.
And they're not. So
Fair enough.
my answer's no. Not interested.
There are some updates for those who do like playing Redfall. In case you're curious, there are some updates coming soon for the 60 FPS mode. Don't know when that's coming. When it is here, that's sometime soon, I guess. So get on that if you're a Redfall fan. All right, that's kind of all the news that I have picked out for this week that I actually care about or that I thought was interesting. Uh, Anything else that you guys know of that you guys wanted to bring up or talk about specifically?
Uh,
Uh, there was
nothing. Yeah, you first, Joey. Sorry.
no, there was a so CA, the ones who make the Total War series, their leadership team came out with an apology for how they released DLC for what was it? Total War Warhammer 3, which I guess was extremely lacking for the price that it was, but it's not telling me what it was. And then Total War Pharaoh, which is their newest game, that they took. So there was a deluxe edition and an edition above that. They completely took the furthest edition away, and they refunded. They refunded some of the money back to the players because of just how bad the games were. And it's,
Why can't?
I
I
hope,
wish they did that on regular consoles.
yeah. But CA has also had a string of failures, I'd say, for a while, to be honest.
Okay.
I'd say that, yeah.
So yeah, I see here that CA, for people who don't know, that is Creative Assembly. They have apologized for the Shadows of Change DLC, is what it's called. So they're giving out refunds and they're pulling the game from Steam. I also see that they've put a discount on the DLC if somebody still buys it. I don't know. I haven't really looked into that too much, so if you're a Total War fan, just be aware. It sounds like Tyler's up on that. He is in that path. So, with that being said, Tyler,
Yes.
tell me, are you playing this game currently?
Am I playing these games?
Yeah.
No. What I am playing older games that Creative Assembly has pumped out. So like Rome Total War and Medieval 2 Total War, which those games are almost 20 years old by now. So those are the games that I stick with. They're just phenomenal. I love them.
Copy that. Okay. Okay, so I got a little bit more clarity here on this website here. This is Yahoo Entertainment for people who want to know if they want to go read this themselves. So they dropped the price on the base game Pharaoh. That's what they did. So they dropped it from $60 to $40. They also apologized for it and they gave a partial refund to people who have purchased the DLC to your Steam wallet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess they said what was originally planned for the first paid DLC will now be released as a free update in 2024.
I feel like at the very least, it's refreshing to see a game company take action for their mistakes and actually like do something about it, rather than just say "shut up, you bought it, deal with it."
Definitely.
But I agree. It's just been, as Tyler was saying, it's happened how many times now?
Right.
It's taken.
I'm not like fully defending them or anything. I'm just saying it is a little refreshing to see a game company actually take responsibility for releasing dog water.
Yep.
It's even CD Projekt Red was like, "Yo, sorry for a shit game."
Yeah, and then they fixed it, and now Cyberpunk has it's up to
Really
like
good,
almost
really good
80%
views.
positive on Steam.
Mm-hmm. I've been thinking about jumping back in on the Cyberpunk train, but man, they burned me so bad at the beginning. I don't know if I can.
Yeah,
I'm
you were
gonna
done with any game of
be
that company.
completely honest. That Phantom Liberty DLC in the 2.0 update, that game is awesome now.
Yeah.
That's what I was hearing.
It's very good. Like the 2.0 update added so much more like interactivity with the environment and NPCs. The DLC is just very well written and it has really good voice acting, and the different
That's what I
story
was saying.
options are really good. Like the Phantom Liberty DLC and the 2.0 update made that game very good, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess I'll have to trust your opinion, and I'll have to take another dive into it. It looks like I'm pulling up Steam right now to kind of look at it and see what the running cost would be to play that game now. If
I'd say they have a
anybody-
complete edition.
I think when I was talking to my friends when the game first came out, when I played it and beat it the first time before all the fixes and stuff, I think my final opinion of the game was it was between like a 5.5 and a 6 somewhere. Like it was fun, but there was so much lacking that I didn't think it was like just like an average game. Like it was so hyped up and then it was just like mediocre.
Yeah.
And then I re-rated it after the 2.0 update in Phantom Liberty, and I gave it like an 8.7.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll probably have to trust you and jump back into that.
To say, I remember trying to load it up on the Xbox when they released the free beta,
Yeah.
and it brand new Xbox, and I couldn't even turn it off. I had to unplug it from the wall, and I thought I ruined my Xbox.
Fuck. I know.
And so I was scared.
When I bought it, I was super hyped. I brought it home, put it in my PS4, and like halfway through it started glitching out like the prologue, and it just like stopped working. And I tried it like
And
2
then
or
your
3 more
PS4
times.
flew.
I set it to
game
the
also-
side. I heard it was working better on the newer generation of consoles, which I didn't have
Yeah.
yet. So I was waiting to get one and play it on there, and hopefully it would do better.
That's what I was about to mention, is that game benefited heavily from PS5 and Series X's releasing.
Yeah.
That game runs like, because I mean, my PS5 runs it at 60 FPS easy,
Yeah.
and it's pretty smooth.
Well,
Do they have the complete edition on sale at all anywhere?
Probably not. I don't know.
I'm looking at it right now. All I see is they've got the base game for $59.99, and then they've got the Phantom Liberty for $30.
That DLC is worth $30 easy, in my opinion.
I
think
was
that's a
saying
fair price for it.
Yeah,
It
I
was like
heard
two-
that somebody said the way Phantom Liberty started is the way the full game should have actually have started.
I agree.
I don't know what that means, because I haven't played Phantom Liberty, but I assume it's a good thing, obviously.
Phantom Liberty does actually add, I think it's either 2 or maybe 3 more endings to the base game.
Wow.
Like if you complete the Phantom Liberty DLC, it gives you alternate options for the base game ending.
Yeah.
Idris Elba sold it on the voice casting. And I said that a couple podcasts ago too. I was really, really impressed. I was really wanting him to get the award for it because
He did
like
a
you said,
phenomenal job.
the writing was good, and then he did good, and then that's what really brought it all back. And I knew Baldur's Gate was going to take it, but I really wanted him to take it. I really, really wanted him to take it.
Yeah, I was on Yuri Lowenthal's side on that one. I can't lie. It is what it is.
Having played both of them to completion, I do have to say I somewhat agree. I think Idris Elba deserved some kind of award, but Baldur's Gate 3 is just so ahead of everything else currently, in my opinion, that
Yep.
I think it deserved to win all of the awards that it won.
I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, when you say game of the year, all right, what game blew up the
Baldur's Gate.
entire fucking year? You know,
Yeah.
what game stuck out to everybody, even the people that weren't playing it or didn't have, or because it wasn't
There was a lot of
available on
bombs
Xbox
listed,
yet.
too.
So I mean, Xbox players were like, "Hey man, when's this shit coming to Xbox?" PC we're already playing it, PS5 is already playing it. I'm sure Switch players were like, "Hey, I want to play this game." So
Good luck.
that game was everywhere. everybody was talking about it every week, every day. There was a guy at work that was bugging me every day. His name is Jeremy. Fantastic dude, but man, shut up. Give me a break. He's a.
I get it.
I
get it. It's Baldur's Gate 3. Shut the fuck up.
I couldn't. Like, I didn't want to be mean either, because, like, he's pretty socially awkward dude, and for him to actually have a conversation with somebody was pretty rare. So,
that game
had to give him a
is
little bit of
just
leeway.
Baldur's Gate 3 is just like the purest form of phenomenal video game. Like, it's
the standard.
It does have its flaws like any game does, but they just are barely even on the radar compared to how phenomenal that game is.
All right. Well, that's kind of a wrap up for
wait.
everything else tonight. Let's go ahead and start our new retro rewind section. For those who are new or have been listening before, this is a new section of our podcast. We're obviously calling Retro Rewind. I kind of just want to get to know the people that I have conversations with a little bit more about their gaming tastes. And if you have an opinion, make sure you comment down below or post up, send us a message. Whatever you want to do. If you want to engage in a future conversation, bring it on. Let's get you on the show. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, please disagree too. Give us thoughts.
Yeah, if you think we're idiots and we don't know what we're talking about, tell me.
Tell
Because
us.
guess what? We are. So,
True.
Harry's like,
My mama
speak
told
for
me
yourself,
so.
man.
No, I completely agree. I'm kind of a dipshit.
Good. We're all on the same page then. So I want to throw this one off to Tyler right off the bat because it is one of my favorite games I've ever played of all time, and it is a PlayStation 1 game. Tyler, what
that's easy. That's
your number one PS1 game, buddy.
That is Spider-Man. Easy.
I've
gotten into fist fights with trying to help my brother beat the level, and then I just take it over and just do all of it. I've gotten into fist fights over that. It is an amazing game, and it's actually what got me into gaming.
Oh yeah,
phenomenal. Plus, I loved it when every time you beat it, it switched up the suits, and then you get a Venom suit, you get the Scarlet Spider suit.
Yeah.
You get the Armored Spider suit. It was phenomenal. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's such a good game.
It is absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite things about it was the different suits as well. So, what was your favorite part about that game, man, when you were playing it?
Oh.
Get out of my brother.
I hope that's not the reason why. But hey, if that's your reason,
it is
cool.
It is not, but I actually loved the. What was it? All the bosses, honestly. Like you fight. The part where you have to get to Mysterio and beat him and web all of the symbiotes.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part. And then you obviously had getting chased by the Carnage, or whatever version of Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Scared the living piss out of me.
Hell yeah.
I want to chime in real quick.
Definitely.
Stan Lee's narration.
I was getting ready to ask you about if you.
Stan Lee's narration. As a child, that man was my hero. I was like, oh, Stan Lee.
Oh yeah, dude.
Loved it. Like that, to me, that is the standard Spider-Man game if you're going to start out somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Like OG Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. Yeah, that game is really good for its mechanics, but if you're going to play a Spider-Man game and feel like you're in the comic book or you're in the 90s cartoon, that's the game you need to play.
Hell yeah. Well, Harry, have you played the original Spider-Man game on PS1?
I believe I have, but I never actually had a PlayStation 1 as a kid, so anything I played was at like a buddy's house or something. So
gotcha.
I definitely have opinions, but they're not very strong, and there's not a lot of them.
For sure, for sure. I get it. I'm actually would be very curious to see how Dadalorian, how your son would be playing this game today.
I've, I've got him to play it a little bit, but I really haven't gotten him to like sit down and say, okay, I want to see you play this.
Yeah.
Because we've had this discussion off the podcast about how like kids these days, they're built different. They're introduced to the internet while we weren't even allowed to have a memory card.
Yeah.
So like we had to get good at the game to play, and for them, they're just looking for that high octane like wham bam explosions in my face.
Yeah. Call of Duty
So
style.
yeah,
Explosions.
he's obsessed with Halo Reach, Halo 3, and Black Ops 2. So if that says anything,
Hell
To be
yeah.
fair, those were all fucking solid games.
Yep.
he's got almost all of the best of the 360 games.
Yes. Outside of Fallout, but yeah.
Right.
Dang it.
Those games. You always gotta ruin a conversation, man. You know how to do that.
He's like, don't forget Fallout.
So,
love it.
Dadalorian, you're a big PS2 guy right now. You got some stuff going on there. I want to know what your favorite PlayStation 2 game is.
Oh, okay. So PlayStation 2. I use PlayStation 2 for both 1 and 2 games. So
PS2 games. Come on,
specifically for PS2.
yes.
I'm
What
gonna
is your
send-
favorite PlayStation 2 game?
It's a tie between the first Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2.
Okay.
I like obviously everyone's going to go for Battlefront 2 because you can sprint, you can play as Jedis, there's space battles. Yes. I really like the Phase 1 troopers. I really like the maps of the first one better. But when it came to the PS2, those were the two games that I was just all about all the time. So, yeah, I'll probably, it's going to be those two for sure. I can't pick
Can't
one.
even begin to describe how many hours I wasted of my life playing Hero Battle on Mos Eisley in Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Assault mode. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so like, because I know there's so many other good PS2 games. Like another one of my favorites is like Ratchet and Clank, Going Commando. I played the shit out of that,
Phenomenal game.
but I had to pick Star Wars. When you asked me which one for PS2 earlier, I was like, oh, I don't know.
That's
That's so
fair.
difficult. That's hard. PS2 all around was just a phenomenal console. It was just spitting out bangers of games that were just continuously getting better.
Yep.
So to pick a favorite is difficult.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying. The PS2 generation was very wide time with a lot of different games. I mean, when somebody asked me what's my PS2, what was I playing at that time? It would have been Star Wars Battlefront 1 or 2, Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, or Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper?
So,
like,
which Sly Cooper?
all of them.
all
of them.
Yeah,
all of the above.
I like them all.
Is Honor Amongst Thieves 2 or 3?
That one is 2, I believe.
2.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite one.
Is it 2?
You got me questioning that. Hold on.
It's the one where you get to play as the hippo and the turtle in the wheelchair.
Yeah, I think both
plays
2 and
friend.
3 were like that.
3.
Yeah.
Honor Among Thieves is 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so Honor Among Thieves was the one I played the most.
Band of Thieves was 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it had that trash third one or fourth one, whatever you want to call it.
Then, like, you can play online on the PS2 as well. I know they had the multiplayer for a few games like SOCOM and
Yep.
And then they're backwards compatible as well. They also came with a DVD player for the first time. Like, before I owned a DVD player, I just put it in to the PlayStation 2 because of an update. Like, which came on a disc, by the way. So it's really hard. The PS2 is just phenomenal. It's just one of the greatest of all time.
There are a lot
It's
of
up there with
games.
it's up there with Nintendo.
Yeah,
Nintendo's got some really good consoles, but if I was going to pick another console to compete it's going to be PS2.
right. There are a lot of great games on the PS2 era, and Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, and Ratchet and Clank are right near the top for me. So I can understand the
Yeah.
toughness to pick, which is why I kind of put that one on you. Although I didn't expect Battlefront and Battlefront 2. I can tell
What'd
you
you expect? I'm curious. What'd you expect?
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
One of
see,
those.
you knew. You already knew.
So, but hey, I get it. So, Harry, I want to know from you, buddy. What is your favorite Super Nintendo game?
Oh, Donkey Kong Country 2.
Hell yeah. Not a
No
lot of
thought
people like Donkey Kong Country or have played Donkey Kong Country. So you've got to tell me more about what drags you into that game.
Monkey.
Monkey.
Big monkey fan?
Monkey.
Monkey. Donkey
Little
Kong was
monkey.
always just Donkey Kong is my favorite Nintendo character.
Okay.
I thought Donkey Kong Country 1 was probably the most iconic, like, nostalgia game for me, but Donkey Kong Country 2 just did what it did, but a little bit better.
Yeah.
I always get nightmare flashbacks waking up in a cold sweat of that fucking minecart level in Donkey Kong Country 1.
You're bringing back PTSD right now.
Dude,
Yeah.
that mission is it's such bullshit. I love it.
You're
That
over-
game is
you're over-
I just
over
have
here. What are the
so
numbers
many good
made?
memories. Probably a close second for me would be there was an Alien game that was on Super Nintendo. I think it was just called Alien.
Uh-huh.
But I remember me, my sister, and my dad used to play that together all the time, and that game was horrifying when I was a kid. Even though it was just like a shitty graphics 2D side-scrolling thing, it was still scary because it's aliens.
You mean like
but
Alien, like the
Like Alien versus Predator.
Okay,
aliens, like
copy.
Xenomorph.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there was an Aliens game on there, and I used to play the shit out of that game. I always felt so badass when I got the flamethrower power up and just running through shit. Like, that game was dope.
Hell yeah.
You had whenever you lost, you had the Bill Paxton's "Game over, man."
No
Yeah,
that was
way.
always. Yeah,
Wow.
that game was awesome. That was a sick game.
Hell yeah. I haven't played that one, but I know I've got it on the emulation side of things, so it's probably something I'll have to pick up as well. So thanks for the recommendation, even though you kind of weren't looking for that. But yeah,
Good
Donkey
traveling down
Kong
the Zelda
Country
Way.
2 is fantastic. I don't know why people don't talk about it more. There are a very select few people that I know, but coming
they're
from you,
cowards.
it was really cool. I love the third one as well. Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, 3. They are staples of the Super Nintendo generation era. So definitely, I totally get that. All right, coming right back up to, we're gonna do one more round for everybody, just so you guys know kind of where we're at on the time. Wookie, give me your favorite. I'm gonna say original Xbox game.
Original Xbox.
Yep.
So it's going to be Halo.
The first one.
Yep, first Halo.
If
Okay.
your answer's not KOTOR 1 or 2, you're wrong. I'm joking.
I just, as a kid, it was, ooh, it's flashy, aliens, the purple blood, just how violent and gritty it was.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I definitely remember playing Halo, Combat Evolved. I don't remember much on the Xbox though. I had a buddy that had a PC, and we played it on there. I had no idea it was a huge game that people actually cared about or loved. It made no sense to me at all.
It had a huge
an
impact on the
alien
first
shooting.
person genre.
So, yeah, I definitely know that.
Yeah.
I know that the second one released right at the same time that Metroid Prime was releasing.
Yeah, so it's 2004.
Yeah. So if
2004.
I were to be asked which game I was picking, I would have chose Metroid Prime just because I
Right.
know the character Metroid, or excuse me, Samus in the video game Metroid.
Well, back when YouTube first came out, they came out with Metroid versus Master Chief, and they ended up teaming up, and it was pretty cool. So it was around that time.
Yeah, well, I think Samus will kick his ass, but hey, we're not going to get in that discussion today.
Look, you don't have to debate who's cooler between Master Chief and Samus, but if you know anything about the games, you know Samus runs
Samus.
through Master Chief.
Yep.
It's not even hard.
Hell
Yeah, that video, that video was just talking about
Nintendo power
girl.
scaling goes crazy.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, Tyler, you got to tell me one more last thing about Halo that drew you in that wasn't. Actually, you know what? This current state of Halo, where it's at, what is one major change you would like to see them do for the Halo franchise to bring you back to that original height for the first Halo game?
A good fucking campaign.
Yeah, no, they definitely would have to work on a really good campaign. They have the multiplayer is obviously now is here
getting better.
And it wasn't existing, but it is getting better.
A lot better.
But they definitely should make that campaign phenomenal to where it is a almost genre defying game, and that
like
everyone else yes, like it was, and that everyone else should be like, hey, they're doing that is doing amazing, we should start doing that. That is what the Halo game should be.
Hell
and it's upsetting that it's not there.
That they just got lazy.
Yes.
I feel the same way about that. Not the biggest Halo fan, but I like to play the games.
Yeah. Like we could have an entire podcast on all the campaigns, on the downfall for us, on when it started. Like, it's just, we've spent many days talking about it just between Chewy and I.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the topic for next week. We just start off with the first Halo game and kind of run through it and see what happens. Harry, do you have an opinion on this at all? Are you a big Halo guy?
I love Halo, yeah.
Cool. Is that something you would like to see them do better, or did you have a different idea of what you would like to see them do better?
Yeah, it's mainly just the campaigns. Like, I thought the multiplayer in Halo 4 was... Halo 4 all around, just who fucking cares? That game was not great.
The story was okay. It was fairly good. It just, they changed the graphics. Like,
I don't really agree. I think the campaign in Halo 4 was mid as hell at best. I thought it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
It got kind of convoluted and hard to follow. It was just weird.
It did feel more like a DLC to Halo 3 than it did its own campaign.
I thought Halo 5 multiplayer was actually... I liked the multiplayer in Halo 5 quite a bit, but then the story was just absolute garbage. And then I haven't actually played any of it.
I know that every time I go to try to do a run through the entire campaigns, I always get held up by Halo 4, so I am right there with you, man.
Yeah. Well, that's when 343 took over, and they're like, we're going to do our own thing. It's like, you're supposed to piggyback. You're not supposed to say, fuck it, let's redo it.
Yeah, if you want to do your own thing, get a new IP.
Yeah.
Don't disagree there. All right, so coming right back over to Dadalorian, man. Give me your least favorite console you've ever played.
Least favorite that I've ever played?
Yep.
You had to ask that.
I did.
I wasn't ready.
Well, be
ready. You know, I'm going to say, damn it, I'm going to get hate for this. The Sega Genesis, and that's only because I only played one fucking game.
Okay.
Maybe three games.
Yeah.
But the console was never mine. But I remember going from Nintendo to Super Nintendo, and then going over to someone's house, and they're like, hey, let's play Sonic.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this?
So, obviously, that would be your favorite game on that generation. That's kind of what I was looking for.
Yeah, like, it is. I don't remember which Sonic it is, but...
Yeah.
obviously, when I think of Genesis, I think of Sonic. That's just where it straight goes. That's my only relation to that console, and that's really my only relation to that character.
For sure.
But I had a blast. So
So, we'll just say in general, all three Sonic games, because you don't really know which one it is. But all three of them are great, especially with the Sonic and Knuckles expansion, whatever the hell you want to call that. Tell me, man, you've been playing all these other consoles, and you've played Sonic on this one. Specifically, what makes you like this blue hedgehog that runs really fast?
Fast as fuck, boy.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess as an adult now, looking back as a kid, it would be the equivalent to my son playing Black Ops 2. It's just, it required more energy to be quick. I'm being serious. Like, I was
Oh, man.
not real good. I was not real good at moving left and right. I couldn't, like, I was not good at reaction. So it required more brain power for me to play because I kept missing everything. I kept hitting the jump button wrong. I'd fall. Like,
Yeah.
so like I went from playing games like Mario and Crash Bandicoot and then going back and playing on Genesis, and I was like, holy shit, this game is way too fast. Like,
I
so
definitely hear what
but it
you're
was a big
saying, but
thing.
it still hurts that kids are like their first games they're playing are like Halo and all this other stuff, and I'm like, but you gotta play this first, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause
Like
Sonic
my
is near
son's
dear
first
right here.
Spider-Man game.
Yeah,
My son's first Spider-Man game is on the PS5,
yeah,
if that says anything.
yeah. Ooh,
So
that's fair.
yeah.
Yeah, I just Sonic is it was something that my buddy had on a Genesis for a while too. It was the original Sonic game. But I remember when it was on the PlayStation 2 generation. I mean, Sonic Heroes, all that other stuff. It just made me fall in love. They had a TV show. They had comics. I mean,
I do remember watching the
how could
TV
you
show.
not like it? I mean, definitely. I was in love with it. The
I
new
actually got it
movies
for my
are
son for Christmas.
fantastic. You need to watch the movies if you haven't seen them yet.
Oh, the movies are phenomenal. And
They
that's
are
the one time
fun.
the internet did something right. It's fix his fucking face.
Yeah, I can't believe the entire internet bullied a studio like that. I mean, like you said, it was kind of well deserved. But
And again, if you're gonna reboot Land Before Time, we'll bully you again.
I don't know if they do all right with it. I'm okay with a reboot. For a Land of Time, that is. All right. So moving on to Harry. Give me your favorite console of all time.
That's a loaded fucking question, man.
I was about to say, oh shit.
It's all right.
I mean, I'd probably have to go with PlayStation 2.
Okay. Now give me
Hell
your favorite game of all time from that generation on the PS2.
All right. So there's two that come to mind immediately.
Okay.
The first one being, well, I guess it's technically three, but one of them is a tie between two of the same series, which is Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank Going Commando and Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked, which is controversial. Most people didn't like Deadlocked, but I thought that was a fucking great game.
Yeah.
It's a 2-player as well. So like,
yeah,
that's even cool.
And then the other game that comes to mind is it was a Spider-Man game. I think it was called Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yes. Yes.
Or it might have just been called The Amazing Spider. I think it was Ultimate.
No,
it
it's
had
Ultimate.
Spider-Man and
It's
Venom
Ultimate.
in it, and you got to play as Venom for like half of the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
That game was freaking sick.
Yeah.
I loved the art style. Like I loved how it had like the cell shaded comic book style to the actual animation in the game. Like that game was just dope.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna take both those answers. I'm gonna run with Deadlocked first because that one stuck out more for me. So my personal experience with this game was that I played it on the Jam Pack disc. And it's just a quick demo, but I fucking loved that demo.
Yeah.
My friend had a copy of the game, but it never worked. So I never got to play this game until the PS3 generation when I was a grown ass adult, and it is so different from any
Yeah,
other
it's
Ratchet
not
and
as
Clank game. But
lighthearted as
it's
other ones.
it's
It's a little gritty.
yeah, I enjoy it. I think it deserves way more love than it gets. I would love to see an HD remaster remake of this game,
Oh,
whatever
that'd
it
be
is.
awesome.
I would play the shit out of it. If they could
Y'all
make
gonna
it
have to come over and play.
an online game, real quick, cheap, throw me some fucking battle
Um,
pass and that shit. Take my
Could you
money.
imagine?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I need to contact Insomniac. Like,
hey, I know you're working on other shit right now, but let's get on this right now.
you want to make money,
Yeah.
motherfucker? You want to make money?
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on over to Spider-Man. Definitely that cell shaded graphic style was pretty beautiful.
Yes.
Great. It was gorgeous.
And it was kind of the first time ever that, from what I know, and all the Spider-Man games that I played, is that you get to play as a different character. And that was...
Yeah, I think it was the first one.
Yeah, you get to play as Venom. And that introduction there itself was fantastic because you fight Wolverine.
Yeah. That game was just so fucking good. Because I remember that was one of the games back when we were still in the era of renting video games for like a week from a video store.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
For our area, for us, it was, for me anyway, it was Movie Gallery. I don't think
Movie
those were
Gallery and
everywhere.
Blockbuster.
But I remember I rented that game. I think I rented it like 3 weeks in a row. And then eventually I just asked for it for Christmas and got it. Because I was like, I'm just going to keep renting this game. This game is so good.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it was so fucking crazy to me to get to just play. Because like the play styles are so different. Because Spider-Man is such of like a fast and nimble, knocking people out, just trying to get the job done. And then you play as Venom, and it's just like you're playing as this big honking freaking animal.
Yeah.
Like he's just running through people, tanking shit. Like, you don't dodge with Venom, you just run at him.
Fuck yes.
And it was just so badass. I loved the contrast between the two different characters.
Yeah.
They're just totally different play styles, and they both worked so well in that game.
Uh-huh.
The game was definitely ahead of its time. I wouldn't be surprised if it waited longer and released on the PS3 because it feels like that would have been more fitting for it. But I'm so glad that we got it when we did.
I
I
mean,
honestly think that was part of why the Spider-Man 2 PS5. I think that was part of the reason I loved that game so much was because of the contrast between the two characters, and it really brought it back to that.
Yeah,
That's what we said on his stream. We brought it up. We were like, dude, it's just like Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, that game was fucking incredible.
I understand what you're saying when you say that, man. For sure. So, just keep in mind, everybody, Ultimate Spider-Man is on PS2, Xbox, and the GameCube era. I played it on all three versions. No matter what version you get, whether you emulate it, stream it, whatever, this game is amazing to play. You can collect comics. There's even like races with the Human Torch.
Yes.
So I
The
mean,
game is wonderful.
you get to switch back and forth eventually as Venom and Spider-Man whenever you want, and just be able to run around the city as Venom, and like you have to feed to stay alive, and you just suck little kids up and people running around. You know, you can just eat everybody. So if you haven't played it, give it a shot. Go ahead.
The game also just had the sick contrast between the movement styles.
Yep.
Because Spider-Man's like running up walls and swinging, and he's super fast and nimble. And then you switch to Venom, and he's just like it's like playing as a train.
Yeah. Yep.
Like you literally just have like locomotion when you're going through towns. It's freaking crazy.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that game was so ahead of its time. That game was awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's really great. One thing I will bring up is the story is just as good too, along with anything else when it comes to playing the game. It's not just about the coolness of these characters. It's about the story as well. Silver Sable's brought into the picture. I mean, it is absolutely fantastic to play. So don't be shy. Pick this game up. Give it a shot. Go beat the shit out of Wolverine with Venom.
Get pissed off at the Human Torch.
Yeah, those races. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was about to say those races.
Yeah.
Rough.
What else did they have?
Human Torch is fast as hell.
They had
PS2?
The combat tours too, didn't they? Or was that in the other one?
That might have been in the. What was the Spider-Man? Was it Spider-Man Friend or Foe?
Yeah. Yes. I was about to say Friend or Foe.
Pretty solid too.
Yep, it is too. Definitely, you get to play as different villains in that one. Well, there you guys have it.
Best 360 game is Halo 3, though. Best PS3 is Skyrim.
There you go. You heard it. I would disagree. The best PS3 game ever is.
Shit, I forgot. It's Last of Us and Uncharted. You got games like that. Fuck.
Yeah.
See there, I go over, just jump straight to it. Well, Halo 3 is best on 360.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Halo 3, Fable, some honorable mentions. But I want to save that for next time because I kind of want these discussions to continue. In the next
We'll have a part 2.
Exactly. If you guys don't already know, make sure you follow along. Every Monday at noon, these episodes release. Friday nights and Saturday nights, we stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We play all kinds of random stuff on there, but be looking forward for that. I don't think there's any new trailers coming out that I need to check out. So, either way, make sure you keep track of the YouTube page, the Twitch channel, all kinds of exciting stuff coming out. Dallas,
Give a follow.
Wookie, Harry, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for talking. We went a little bit past what I said I wanted to, but hey, I'm okay with it if the conversations are fun, and I think I had some fun.
Next week's going to be great.
I'll see y'all next week. Thank you.
See ya.
Absolutely.